If you love making money and wanna win,
Just cash.
if you love making money and wanna win,
Just cash.
we just chillin' and we vibing with our friends.
Just cash.
And if anything in doubt, we pass. Rookies all hate us cause we played it just cash. I put my money in a strong position. They try to tell me I can't win, it's just a stupid superstition. Cause when I focus, you will notice that I'm winning. We demolish every bookie, there ain't no competition. Now listen, I would never give you shitty picks and do you wrong. Come and join the Discord, tell these bets and hit the bone. Cooking up a parlay super unders and a song. We be really winning, this ain't just to make another song. So if you love making money and wanna win,
Just cash.
we coming in and we taking all the money.
Just cash.
They can't do nothing to stop us.
Just cash.
Hey, fuck these bookies, man.
Just cash.
They wanna limit me cause I win. Label me the enemy cause all I do is win. Just give us a try, this is where it all begins. I'm not gonna lie, all I know how to do is just win. If you love making money and wanna win,
Just
they wanna
cash.
limit me cause I win.
Just cash.
If you love making money and wanna win,
Just cash. Just cash.
Just cash.
love making money and wanna win.
Just cash.
We just chillin' and we vibing with our friends.
Just cash.
And if anything in doubt, we pass. Rookies all hate us cause we played it just cash. Love making money and wanna win.
Just cash.
We just chillin' and we vibing with our friends.
Just cash.
And if anything in doubt, we pass. Rookies all hate us cause we played it just cash.
Hey, hold up. Fuck, I lost too much money on that shit.
Just cash.
Oh my goodness, we're here and it's late as fuck. E, what you doing over there, man? You awake? You still awake over there? I know it's 12:40 a.m. for you.
Yeah, it's a little late over here, but I've been up, been drinking, so just so you guys know, feeling pretty loosey goosey today, but I think it's one that's well deserved after the night we had.
The sweep. The sweep. Wait, I need to
Better
play.
get your brooms out.
We get this goat sound for today. We deserve the goat sound today. That was dope. Look at that. Let me zoom in on that. So nice. Look at that. Look at all that green. Not a
That's a lot.
red color in sight except for the little U's for the unders. What's up, Eric 2? What's up, bro? What's up? Big C dots here. Look, those are the people who know that there's some money to be had. Early bird gets
Yes,
the worm.
sir.
Late bird gets the worm too. Chris is here too. A different Chris. That's what's up. Yo, what's up, Chris?
Oh, what's up, dude? He hasn't been here in a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, but
Yeah.
it's good to see you.
Yeah, exactly. He's the late night guy. He catches
That's
us
okay.
on.
That's okay.
Yeah, I like the late night shit. Can have more time to focus after we get off stream. We get to focus more for the morning.
Yeah. We'll definitely get it more dialed in after, we get off. I'll probably be up for at least another hour and a half. I'm going to try to finish putting a big dent in this slate. There's just so many games, so we get plenty of time to at least get the morning slate, and I think most of the afternoon covered. And then by the time we're up in the morning, we can easily get the afternoon or the evening, and then the late night games knocked out. So there's a lot of work to do, obviously, but we thankfully got most of the props now. I mean, honestly, that's just kind of been our Achilles heel, is just waiting on the damn props to drop, but we got them. So we're going to comb through them. We'll circle back through as the day progresses, and it should be fun.
Always fun. Saturdays are always the best. Although I can't wake up for the first game. It'll still be fun. I'm going to wake up to some stats.
Yeah. You wake up to some green, so we'll be happy about that. But before we get started, if you guys do us a huge favor, make sure and hit that like and subscribe button, and that way you don't miss out whenever we do have these late night streams. We are still doing the 2-a-days, at least on Friday. Man, I think we have like 10 games or less left for the regular season. I saw that earlier today. I'm a little sad face.
Really? That's all?
Yeah.
No way.
Well, before March Madness starts, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Feels like we just started getting into it right now.
I know, man. But hey, I mean, that's where some of the best betting is. Once you really, really catch your stride,
Yeah.
the middle season all the way down to the wire, and we still have March Madness, so we'll have the entirety of March. But yeah, man, February is a short month. We're coming up on the last week of January already, which is crazy to think about. And then yeah, with March, they'll be playing in the tournament stuff. We'll be wrapping up for Unrival. We'll be wrapping up around that time. Then we'll get the draft and WNBA and all that will be right around the corner.
That's right. I totally forgot. It's almost the end of January already. Holy shit.
I know. This year is already moving too fast. I'm like, God, I felt like last year moved too fast.
We must be old. Well, I'm going to light a joint to that. Because, hey, every day's been fun, I must say. I'm not too angry about it, especially today. Today was great. Today was like the day where you're like, all right, cool. We're on to something here, Had a little bit of a off and on day with bitch-ass Xavier Ball yesterday, but I mean, really the plays were on point. It was just one dude got in foul trouble, so but it's hard to feel it. So today we got to feel it. We got to feel the green and the W's and the account balances rising. So I'm excited to keep it moving, man, all the way through the season. Maybe we'll have one or so bad days a week, but that's about all. I have a good feeling. We'll only get better.
I mean, bro, this Monday through Friday, so we had two days, one really bad day. We're not even going to joke about that one. We had one really bad day. Then we had one day that was a 50-50. And then we had 2 full sweep days. And then one day we went like X-1 or X-2. So, I mean, absolutely insane week, even with the bad beats along the way.
Right. Can't be mad, bro. I'm super happy we got into a new thing and we didn't spin our wheels on NBA, and we'd be so bored at this point now doing the same old players, same old stuff. This is so much more fun. And we got so much better at it already. It's like, it's probably going to just be better from here all the way through, and then the next season will be even better from the start. So I'm stoked, man. We're just going to keep making money. I see C-Dot got some, I think those are rocket ships in there he put for the sweep today. Hopefully you made some money with us, man. I'm sure you did. And yeah, if you got any plays that you looked through today that you want us to look at or talk about, throw them in the chat. And anybody in there that does, throw them in the chat, guys. I know we don't have Big Youngin, Free Youngin. Big Youngin was the one who would throw 10 plays in there to talk about, which was fun. But hey, if you guys got one, throw them in there, man. Even you, E2. We don't want no damn NBA though. Find some college to talk about, E2. But anyways, let's get to the plays we like so far, and we'll go from there.
All right, man. Sounds good. Okay, so first up, we're going to talk about Ace Bailey. They are Rutgers is back at home. We got a nice healthy game total, 147.5. And we're looking at over his 18.5 points because it looks like the betting sites are pretty split on either the 18.5 or 19.5. Most places do have him at 19.5 already, so wouldn't be surprised to see that be across the industry tomorrow. But where you can find him at 18.5, definitely get on that before, obviously the bumps. Him at home, man, he's been super dangerous, and we've seen him really being able to catch his stride down the season. One thing that I really liked about Ace is, obviously the scoring has been really solid for him, but the 3-point shooting, this has been, one of the struggles of this team so far is having a consistent 3-point shooter. And over the last, month almost, he's been stepping up a lot more in that regard. Now, some of that, yes, is with Dylan Harper, him being somewhat injured and coming back from that and all that. But him being the guy really taking the 3-point shooting, to the next level has transitioned to a lot of points. So I'd like to see him continue this, maybe not another 4 threes made game, but at least another 3 threes, put us down for a solid 9 points from beyond the arc. And just be able to do his thing at home, getting to the free throw line, getting those icing free throws, being a menace also on the rebounding and the, offensive rebounds as well. I think that, his rebound line itself is very appropriate. So I'm not necessarily trying to chase that, but the offensive putbacks and chance for free throws, I think is still very consistent for him. Now, one thing we got with the opponent here is they do run a really deep bench. Their whole strategy is to play basically a bunch of players, keep them fresh legs. Their entire team basically is capped at 28 minutes and less, and they don't have any players that play any more minutes than that. So he will be going up against a few fresh defenders. That is a drawback, but he's very assertive at home. And I would say he probably has one of the easier on-court matchups. Dylan Harper is going to be dealing with Jaden Akins, I believe. Yeah, Akins. And he's a pretty solid on-court defender, and he actually plays the most minutes of this opposing team. So he will be out there to cover Dylan Harper a little bit more often. And yeah, man, I think Ace is just a rock solid player at home, and he likes to show out for the crowd. So we're kind of catching him again back on the upswing. And the team also now having Harper helps him space the floor a lot, which I think is huge. So teams are not doubling him and just daring him to pass it a lot, like we saw in these games where his assist was really spiking.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was thinking when Harper went out with that sickness that would be the time for Ace to go crazy. And he did go crazy. One of those games he scored 39. But
Yeah.
then he went against a few tough teams. He went against Wisconsin, then he went against Purdue. And it was like, he's the man and all, but I mean, if you only have one good player on your team, it's going to be hard to get over those points that we need. We need 20 points. He had 9 and he had 17. He fouled out in one of the games. It was just, everything was on him. And he's 18 years old. So it's like, you can understand those type of games. He's going to go through a little bit of learning and being like, all right, well, what do I do here? Now we got Harper back. And look, since Harper's been back, 20, 24, and 30. I think that's also because, like you were saying, man, that they have to worry about Harper too. So once that's in effect and they can play even better together, it's kind of like when NBA, they have trades in college, right? Because they're freshmen. They're just learning how to play together. So it seems like it takes about this long. And right now they're in their spot, man. They're feeling it. So to get him at 18.5 points, and I know C-Dot said he bumped to 19.5 on Fliff. He did bump. I think he bumped really quick. He was 18.5 on FanDuel. I don't know where else he would be, but yeah, I mean, he's worth 19.5. I actually played him at 19.5 also, but oh yeah, we should have checked. That's right. I forgot that they kind of follow FanDuel, but he's not even on there yet, huh?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, really, I don't have a problem with 19.5. I mean, usually I hate the bumps, but I still think it's a decent play. Like, if it never was 18.5, I would have considered the 19.5 anyways, just because he's on such a heater and he's going to shoot. So the matchup's not the best, but like you said, they are at home, right? That's huge.
Yeah. Him being at home, I think, is a huge de facto.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to pay, get kind of an obvious worst payout, I mean, you can't get him at 17.5 for a 1.36 on parlay play. It's not the best payout. Not the best payout.
Yeah. Nope. That's like minus 300 almost. I can't do it.
Yeah. I'm assuming he's 19.5 here. Yeah. So, I mean, this is a little bit more appropriate. If you can find the 18.5, definitely, scoop that up. Dang. That kind of sucks if they moved it that fast.
Well, I mean, it's Ace Bailey. To me, he's like I don't know if it sounds crazy, but he's the number two dude that feels solid for scoring after Cooper Flag to me, personally. I just know he's going to shoot. Like, every time he gets the ball, he's like, I'm about to shoot. He doesn't care where he is either. So I like having players like that, especially when their props are really under 20 still. It's not crazy. It's not like Eric Dixon props or something.
Right. And I would say really close to, also Curtis Jones, who we're going to talk about in a few minutes. I mean, hell, we can talk about him too. This is just another one of like the guys. I mean, these dudes. Yes, we can definitely admit, their lines are more adjusted and way more appropriate now. Curtis Jones, his lines are finally creeping up to what they have or should have been. So I think this is, obviously a more appropriate line for him, but just another, walking 20 bomb. These guys are shoot first, aggressive on the glass, and Curtis, he definitely plays more like a small forward, so I like to see that in him. He's a very much so a mixed bag of threes, mid-range, and he's been really, really crafty lately getting to the free throw line. Like, he's drawing a lot of fouls. And in this particular matchup, his opponent is a foul magnet or foul machine. Like, this dude averages like 3.5 fouls a game. And over the last month, I think he's fouled out twice, and he had 4 more fouls in the last 5 straight games. So he's definitely struggling to defend his opposing guard. And, Curtis is just a shooting machine. I mean, we've seen this guy start many, many games, very efficient, anywhere from 100% on that one day he burned us to even his bench roll whenever he was coming in and playing as the 6-man. He would, just start firing shots, and if he's not feeling it from 3, then he tries to drive to the lane. He's trying to hit that mid-range, and he doesn't pass the ball, like, at all. I mean, this dude averages like 1.5 assists at best, and, that's just not his thing. So they set the offense to get him as many looks as possible, and now with him recently moving into the starting lineup, the main thing that's really done is just solidified his minutes. So he went from playing right around the 30-minute marker to well into the mid-30s, and this game's gonna be a nice juicy total. 143 is definitely not bad, and yeah, I like it, man. It looks like just a solid player. He's been consistent for the last month and a half.
Yep, totally. I totally agree. And like you said, he reminds me, he has that Ace Bailey mentality, man. Give him the ball, he's going to go for it. He's going to drive, he's going to shoot. Like, every single time he gets the ball. As coach would say, that's his job. That's what he does. That's all he does is score. He can get lucky and a few rebounds drop to him, but, I mean, he's a scorer. So, 18.5 is not bad. I swear he's gone over that almost every game where he's played a decent amount of minutes. And now that he's starting, he'll probably get a few more minutes, right? He's got a few more minutes in the last few games since he's been starting.
No, noticeable minutes. I mean, like I said, he went from playing pretty much hard capped right around that 30-minute marker to he's playing at least 30 minutes.
That's huge. So I know we've been taking his over, I think since the beginning was 14.5 at the beginning of the year. And it steadily rose up, but I don't think they've caught up to his starting time. Like, it could easily be 19, I swear it was 19 last game. So, definitely not mad at it either. Solid plays, bro. Solid plays. I mean, you know me, I like the unders. So, these ones really got to stand out for me to like them. And I think these dudes are super solid. The ball just got to fall in the hoop. They're going to take the shots.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And so, just talking about the minutes as well real quick, if he was coming off the bench in the role that he previously was, where, now his line would be at 18.5, I probably would have been like, nah, that is probably taxed, or that's probably very, very appropriate for what he was getting there. But now we kind of hit this new little threshold where, like, okay, let's tack on at least 4 more minutes of play, which, I mean, in only 40-minute quarters, another 10% is huge. And then maybe even drift that up another 3 to 4 minutes beyond that. So, just getting a potential of another 8 minutes is absolutely massive. And now I think still in this position, we've even seen it too in these games translate. Having those few extra minutes means a few extra points, and it's still a favorable line. I think this dude is probably going to average closer to 21, 22 points down the stretch if he continues this. And I mean, he's not slowing down. So, maybe this is one more time we go back to the well. If it burns us, then okay. They'll move his lines back down, and if he gets there, then, we were right all along.
That's the thing about college, man. These guys are playing to go pro. These guys are playing the hardest they can play every single game. Not like the pros, they've already made it there, and they're sitting there with their money, and they're like, whatever. Throw me the ball. Whatever. 80 games left. Whatever. So these dudes are out there trying. These dudes are out there trying. So...
yeah, man. And this guy's really trying to make a name for himself this year. So he's doing his thing, and shoot first, secondary rebounder, getting to. I would like to see him get to the free throw line a little bit more, but I mean his three ball is falling, so can't be mad about that. Just go out, have a normal game, and get us there.
It will happen. Just like today. I think we're going to sweep again tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Fuck it. Why not?
I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm feeling so good. We're gonna take another shot, and just a quick
You read my mind.
reminder. If you guys have not already hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out, and also helping the fam, we're on the road to 1K. We need another 22, 23
No.
subscribers to hit that.
20 flat now. 20 flat.
Oh,
20.
let's go.
20 ain't shit, man. 20 ain't shit. I think next week you'll be taking your shot on our Friday night stream. We'll be at 1,000. I think that's the case.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna happen.
We might even do a little giveaway or something for hitting that mile marker.
We definitely should. It's funny. I was thinking that exact thing, and you just said it, so that's for sure.
Yeah,
What
we'll definitely do something special for that.
what should we do? It's interesting.
Yeah, that's the question, but we are definitely going to do something for sure. All right, let's talk about a turnover play. Oh man, and today
tell
was
us
a
your record.
turnover sweat.
Yeah, it was. Boy, it was. You go ahead and talk about that, but I want you to tell him your record too on him. That's the best part.
We're on just a modest, 10-2 run right now. Nothing too crazy. I think today was the most sweatiest of sweats from hell, but we got there. Oh, we got there.
You know why? Because everyone in the Discord believed today. E2 believed. C-Dot believed. They were in the Discord. He got 3. G-Man came. Oh my God, he has 3! Ah! See, he came in there with that attitude, but no one even was like, yeah, you're right. He only has 3. We're just gonna chill and be sad about it. Oh, we're toast. Oh, chalk. Oh, burnt. Oh, I'm turning that game off. No, none of that. We stayed strong. And you see what happened? Came through.
Came through. Yep. And
Hey.
nobody talked about it either.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, y'all just be quiet.
Yeah, we were reading each other's minds telepathically because, sometimes I'll be like, oh, bro, I don't believe in that. I'll just say some shit. And then people behind probably be like, bro, I know he doesn't believe in jinxes, but fuck, bro, he's jinxing our shit. So I thought about it. I was like, nope, I'm not going to say anything. And just let it happen. And then what did E2 say right when that game ended? Did you see what he said?
Oh, no, I'll be honest. I was definitely drinking at the end of that game because that was too sweaty.
No, he was funny. He said something like, we weren't saying anything, huh? We were all just not saying anything, huh? And then we were like, yep. And we were like, yeah, it was the best. Oh, it was so tight. That was
Man.
Yep.
No, honestly, it was such a great feeling because it was really unfortunate for it to even be a sweat in the first place. Like, yeah, I figured he would probably have 2 or 3 turnovers, but for him, a guy who averages like 2 fouls a game for both of them in like not even a minute of each other, both to be offensive fouls, was just absolutely insane.
And what was so perfect about it is we get to reference this from now on. When anyone cries in the first quarter or the second quarter, we'd be like, hey, guys, remember Eric Dixon? Just remember that. Anything's possible, guys. Don't get all sad yet. Come on. Let's keep it good. Let's keep it positive. That was beautiful.
If you guys haven't felt the second half magic that is CBB, then I don't know what we've been doing here. The second half has been so good to us.
Yeah, they go crazy because we're always like so used to saying, oh, it's done. Oh, that he got us. Oh, it didn't happen. Even the unders, to be honest. Even the unders sometimes look like they're going to kill us and then they don't. It's just kind of, I don't know what it is. But I think you're right with the overs even more because the players, when there's the star players, they know that they're supposed to be the star and they kick in high gear in the third, fourth quarter. They're like, bro, I can't end this game with 5 points. You know what I mean? They're like, give me the ball.
No.
I gotta go. I gotta make pros. Like, give me the ball. I can't score 5,
Yeah, it's one thing, if we get cheesed out with somebody who's in foul trouble and they just literally don't play. But for the most part, especially in the second half, the guys really go out and give it the old college try,
Yeah. Eric said, I was sweating Dixon so bad and underrated, I could feel we were on the same wavelength. We just weren't saying anything, but we were telepathically telling each other, don't write anything, stay strong. C-Dot said, I told you, I text Dixon at halftime and said we were good. Yep, he did say that. And then Eric says, appreciate you. Hell yeah, teamwork. I love it when it works like that. So that was the best, guys. I'm glad you guys rolled with it like that and it actually worked. Fuck yeah.
Oh, and I forgot about, we sniped up that insane Brianna Stewart 14.5 points. Oh my gosh, that was so free.
Mm-hmm. And that was the one we put together with the Dixon turnover play. So it was like that combo hit so nicely. Oh, Eric Dixon. Yeah. We love him now. And his name's Eric. Wait, I just thought of it.
Oh yeah. From one Eric to another. And see, the funny thing is too, now we kind of put the bookies in an interesting situation that, obviously they're not going to put him back at 3.5 rebounds because how awesome of a feeling is that we were the only people betting on that prop, period. And we came in out of left field and make them take it down across every site an hour before or the hour leading up to locks. Like specifically that one prop got taken down everywhere.
Why did that happen?
Cause somebody at HQ was like, hey, what is going on with this prop? I'm looking at it like, why the hell is this up there?
Damn. I always think maybe that was because someone caught onto it. And just like if a certain person catches on, there's those nukers out there. And since it's college basketball, it's like the liquidity is low. Like, a small amount of money can move a line in comparison to NBA. So I always think like you get a couple people in there that realize that 3.5 is just wrong and they just bet 1,000 on it a couple times. They'll take it off the board real quick, maybe. I don't know. That's possible too.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. And it just, it's got to make you feel good, especially when the prop's just outright taken down. Like, whoa, this has got to be a solid play.
Hey, look who's here, though. Look who's here. You get the air horn. You get the yay. You get all of it. Big Dale Parker, half sleep, stopping by to say hashtag free youngin. Oh, boy. Yeah, I know, man. Fuck. Come back, youngin.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, man.
I gotta take another drink for Young in there.
Me too. I'm gonna take a drink and a little toke too. Mm-hmm. That's for you, youngin. Come on, bro.
Yep, come on back, man. We gotta get the vibes back in here. And the friendly competition, because I know Youngin likes to come with the plays too. And
yeah,
I'm
telling you, E. I'm telling you. Trust me, E. Yeah, we trusted him, boy. We'd be 2-10 every day.
Or 10-2. I mean, sometimes he definitely shows us up and has, a pretty insane day.
Yeah, you want to be nice to him because he's not around at the moment. I understand. We'll be right back talking shit to him when he comes back. So come on back. He'll be back soon. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would definitely much rather talk shit to his face and get a good laugh out of the both of us.
Exactly. And we gotta just hope, like we hope for Derek Dixon, that he'll be back soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So anyways, we got the turnover play. Did you have another turnover play too you liked? Or was just a lean that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, we'll talk about that one next, which I think is, kind of another Eric Dixon situation. But for Big Sorbo, Thomas Sorber, man, he's been really solid starting, his first year in college, and we're seeing him kind of hit this, uptick in the usage, doing a little bit of everything, taking more shots, playmaking, rebounding, everything across the board is definitely coming up, and the usage rating continues to rise. And of course, with that is going to come the turnovers. So we got another insane matchup for turnovers. It's going to be a road game for him, first off, and sixth most caused turnover opponent is pretty insane. So we've only had a couple of these to really kind of play around with, and this one just kind of feels like another. They haven't moved it, and or it shouldn't be an option for us. So at 1.5, the odds could be a little bit better. We are going to have to parlay that with something, but this guy is averaging like 3 turnovers on the season already. He averages 2.4, and on the road he's averaging 3 turnovers outright. And this guy is going up against like a stock machine. This dude is just a block party and a half. He's a more recent starter. I believe he slotted into the starting 5 like 4 games ago or something, and he got a spot start earlier on in the season. But that opposing center, he averages 3 blocks a game right now. So he is just an absolute no-fly zone inside the paint, which I think is going to help bolster our potential for, forced turnovers and whatnot from the playmaking. If he's not going to be able to foul or really get to the, interior in the paint because of, his shit's getting blocked, we can also see the turnovers from that, from 4 shots down below, or him, trying to kick it out and forcing a play on the outside. So we've already seen him playmaking more in general. And one thing that's really helped with that is Jaden Epps. He's been kind of on and off, back and forth with injuries. He was back this last game and did come off the bench, which I think they might do for one more game, because the guard who came in and started for him, he's been playing really well lately, and he played phenomenal this last game. So maybe they ease Epps back in one more game like that, which I think really, really helps our usage in the first half in particular. He gets some nice time on with Epps still on the bench and, on and off the court together. So that helps. We could easily see an early fluke turnover and then get 1 forced turnover from the other side, no problem. But 1.5, way too low. The only red flag that I would say really on the surface is the game totals, like 130 something, 137. Yeah, 137. That could be a little bit better, but at least from this perspective, it is a pace up spot for him in this game. So things at least kind of going in a positive direction. One little red flag, but I like it. We see the young struggles that these freshmen have all the time, and we're just looking for a low-hanging fruit here.
Yeah, man. Can we look at the game log real quick? I just wanted to see, because you can tell on Outlier that he's getting a lot more usage in this last half of the season. I remember we played his Creighton game, where he scored 8 points, only 6 rebounds. I believe he was in foul trouble. I can't see because it's behind your chair. Hold on, let me change this.
He had 3 fouls, yeah.
3. So I think he was in foul trouble that first half. I remember that. But what happened in the beginning of the season? Is it just him? You think they're just kind of learning how to use him? I know he's a freshman too, so it's like as the season goes on, he's going to continuously do more. Look at his assists. That's pretty interesting. I guess he did have 5-4. Actually, I guess he's always just had the ball in his hands and he's passing the ball. So that'll bring the turnovers, obviously, right? But it's even more here in the second half of the season so far.
Yeah, since, really, I would say right here at the end of November in the 30th, where his usage rating took a very hefty leap forward, where he was in the, right at 20 percentile. But it was one of those situations like where he just kind of never looks back. Like, he only had 1 bad game. And I say bad game because he had fouls that game. He had 4 fouls in the game. So he was very limited. It was one of the second season low field goal attempts that he had. Still had 4 turnovers, mind you, but one of the lowest usage games that he's had outside of whenever he, had fouls again here. So as long as he's not in foul trouble, this dude has been sporting a very consistent mid-20s, if not spiking into like this last game with Epps on the bench. He had a 34% usage rating. So we at least get a pretty, I think a safe floor, at least from a 25, mid-20s range for usage overall. And then if Epps is going to come off the bench again, then I think we could safely bump that up to about 30% at least as a floor.
Yes, sir. I'm feeling it. It's funny. I was just sitting here looking at this play, and I was looking at the other plays we have, and I was like, you know what, man? This might be a full unit play. What do you think?
I like it quite a bit. the outlier matchup is definitely screaming that, hey, this is a great forced turnovers. And I mean, the guy has pretty much a natural turnover every game, whether that be from offensive foul or from the playmaking and out of bounds or forced play. I mean, I like the fact that the assist has been climbing up more and more, but I mean, also the field goal volume in the games that he's not in foul trouble has been very consistent. So I think to answer your question, I like this play a lot. I think this is a very solid play already on the surface. If we get news or if we're waiting around tomorrow to get confirmation that Epps is coming off the bench, I think this is a full unit play, no problem. Like I love this play at that point.
Okay, cool. So I'll put a half unit in tonight. Wait for the news. Put another half if Epps isn't starting. Makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, I like that. We can play it safe, and obviously we'll go back and we can just parlay it with something else, because I personally don't think the odds are going to move a lot. I mean, if anything, they'll take the prop down, which would be super unfortunate, but I don't think they will. I think this is the last day we get it, though.
All right. Well, sounds like a good one. Like you said, 10-2. We gotta continue to ride that out and see how it goes. I think we're onto something with that. I like that. C Dot says free youngin. Yes, exactly. Shashai says, oh, we got a few questions here, and it's not youngin. That's what's up. Grant Nelson rebounds. Grant Nelson's rebounds have been interesting. What do you think? How can we figure out why he did good in one game and not as good in the other game? And is this line playable, or is 9.5 just too high?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely high. I will say, I feel like at this point in the season, this is probably a full point higher than it should be. 8.5 would be way more appropriate. So what happened is he was 8.5 for this stretch right down here. He was clearing that in these couple of games. So they finally moved him up to 9.5, and he cleared in this little portion here, but he's definitely fallen off since then. So it looks like they kind of tested the waters, because some of these were, a reasonable matchup. Like Sacred Heart was actually a decent rebounding matchup. A&M not so much, but they were kind of giving them credit for trying to hit this line. So I'm actually really surprised that, they even have this, as an option. The thing with Alabama is one of their other guys, I can't remember his name, the other forward, he's been rebounding a ton more lately. I know he was a super popular play this last game, and man, where the hell is Alabama? I know he was a really popular play this last game, so let's take a peek here real fast. What's this guy? Oh, Clifford. He has been kind of a pain in the ass on the glass. But so what coach has been doing is he keeps rotating between playing him, in the 16 to low 20s, and he kind of fills in with either triple guard set, or he'll bring in this guy. But this dude's kind of a menace on the glass.
Oh, like he went crazy last game. This dude.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe that's kind of an outlier game from him, because he did see a spike in minutes. I mean, albeit it was a blowout in a sense, but he did see a spike in minutes, and we have seen, at least on the season and in quite a few games, that more minutes equal a lot more rebounds, just specifically to him. So I would assume that's probably a little bit more of a product of this last game, but that line is high. That line is definitely high for him. I'm not even gonna lie.
You wouldn't go under, but you wouldn't go over.
Pass.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably pass. It's a true 50-50. I mean, you look at his season split, like it's right down the middle, but that's a high line. I mean, he should be 8.5, not 9.5. That's 9.5 is way too high.
Okay, let's answer one more, and then you can get back to your plays that you have. There's a few more in here, I think. Miles Kelly rebounds. He's liking rebounds. Man, rebounds are tough, I will say. Just in general, rebounds are a hard thing to get right, because it's the way the ball's going to bounce. It's just a little bit harder to call. Little more variance, they would say, right? In general.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, one major thing is what John L. Broome was upgraded to questionable today, correct?
He was, yeah. It said officially, it sounded like he was going to try to play because it's such a big game, too. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to get out there.
Yeah, so one thing, if Broome plays, then I would be very scared of that because some of this recent production is coming with him being off the court. So that's a huge void to fill. Now, is it a bad play? No. Tennessee is no joke. I think these are two very insanely stout defensive teams. So it will be a slogger. I think there will be, more rebounds as a whole to go up. To the guard position might be a little tougher, but I would wait and see on that for two reasons. So one, if Broome plays, then maybe that can just kind of sway you off of that play in general. But two, if you like the play and you want to stick to your guns with it, if you wait for that news and Broome does play, you're going to get way better odds on this.
So what's up with this guy? So you think it's because Broome's out, that's why he's getting these rebounds here in the recent games?
Yeah. I mean, the team as a whole is definitely just going to, open up to more rebounding, and just with that minutes and production that Broome has. But yeah, I mean, you can see for sure. I mean, it's no coincidence that he's been out for the last two games, and this was the highest. This is definitely going to be his season high. I can guarantee you that. But also, with this too. So Broome went out this game, mind you. He was out for this game, and then he was out for this game.
So if he's out again, not a bad play.
Right. And again, maybe if you're just like, hey, I got that gut feeling and I feel great about it. If you wait until the news that Broome is playing, then you're going to get that, probably for a plus money play or just way better odds in general.
Yeah, and it's a super tough matchup. And that, it says right there, rank 9 in rebounds given up. So they're not giving up many rebounds either. So it's a tough one. You have to have Broome out to feel at all decent about that play.
Yeah, for sure. Because, if he plays, this dude averages on 10.7, but we'll say 10.5 rebounds a game. So, I mean, that is a massive, massive void. And the guy who's come in and filled it in for him really, he ain't about that life. He's a rebounder, but he ain't doing this.
I feel it. Eric 2 says, how about Eric Daly? Eric says, how about Eric? And he's asking Eric.
Daly played tonight. I know that.
Hey, Eric 2.
I know
okay.
for sure Eric
well, he
Daly
has another
tonight.
super DGen play we can look at. Tyler Harris, 0.5 steals. 0.5 plays. Oh my gosh. Right when I see those, I just go past to the next. Do you have a shiny quarter? Just flip it, sir.
What was that? Harris?
Tyler Harris. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm not seeing Harris yet. Okay. For Washington. Bro, how are you on yesterday's slate, man? They all these teams played tonight.
Eric 2, how much weed have you been smoking?
Are you freaking? I'm like, I know for damn sure Eric Daly played tonight because I played him after I played his second half after Home Dude got hurt. Tyler got hurt.
Okay, well, Eric 2, if you could give us a play that's actually for tomorrow, that'd be nice. He goes, oh, wait, all those already played, my bad. And oh, man, jeez. Okay, let's go to someone who has a play that's actually on the board. Cam Carter, PRA-E, and then we'll let you get back to your list if you don't mind. Cam Carter, PRA.
Yeah. Let's see.
Why are you laughing at Eric 2?
I'm just laughing because
yeah,
he's like he's tripping me out here because I'm like, wait, I know I'm like I'm a little drunk here, but I'm pretty sure I played him tonight in a couple of slips.
Right,
and,
right.
And then he said Kobe, and I'm like, I know I played Kobe. I talked about him on stream
It's
earlier.
it's funny because it's half my fault because I looked at it and thought the same thing, but I just said it anyways because like maybe I'm tripping. And then you got to it and it was like, I was like, wait, yeah, maybe I wasn't tripping. Damn, E2's tripping. Damn, bro. Let us know what you're drinking and smoking over there. Jesus.
All right, let me see what this spread. Oh my goodness, this can be a barn burner. All right, so LSU traveling out to Alabama. Now, I mean, granted, you know, it is semi-rivalry game, so I like the fighting spirit of that. Alabama's been pretty dangerous at home, man. They have been no joke at the house. Massive favorites, 17.5 points. So I would definitely worry about, you know, obviously starters getting pulled here as one thing, but let's see if this guy has dialed back minutes and blowouts. So we got a blowout here, 21 minutes, 30 minutes. Let's see. This team not playing too many blowouts. So this is the first game of the season. That's hard to consider. Now they haven't played in too many blowouts, but the one obvious blowout, you know, he played 21 minutes. We don't have any sample size really to go off of, so you know, just kind of know that is definitely some unknown territory. We haven't seen this team really play in like that scenario of a blowout, but this game, you know, was 77-53. He did only play 30 minutes. So maybe he has a hard cap of right around 30 minutes, 29-30 minutes. It's a great scoring matchup, but let's see. What are his points at? Oh my God, he's taxed. Yeah, dude. It's
just a matchup, right? They just throw a couple numbers on top of it because they know that they're going to be scoring 20 more points in this game, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure it's got a monstrous total.
Yeah,
165. So if it was a close game and his lines weren't adjusted, I'd probably say, yeah. I mean, honestly, I love to attack Alabama for anybody who's just like a straight up raw scoring, but they have his points bumped up. Let's see, 2 full points from his season average, and I mean that's really just based off of what 3 games out of the last 10. So 70% hit rating on the under for that. Nah, man, I wouldn't play that. I think there's just too much risk in that. Honestly, it's a bumped line, massive spread potential for, you know, unknown minutes that he could play reduction, and I like him. You know, I'll say honestly, I like the player and I like the usage rating, but there's a lot of red flags I think here for this one.
Okay, it's all good. He says thank y'all so much. No problem. And Eric says, sorry, guys. Nah, bro. Your sorries aren't good around here no more. Nah, just kidding. It's all good. It was funny. Jalen Rose says, Andrew Carr over 17.5 PRA. That's one that Coach was talking about. I remember. Let's see what that looks like. Andrew Carr over 17.5 PRA. That's actually pretty low for him. And then he said fouled out last game. So we like that too, obviously. Maybe they dropped his line a little. Average is lower from the foul out. Let's see. 17.5.
Yeah, he got into foul trouble, but I will caution one thing with him though. He's been battling an injury for a hot minute now. This dude's been a game time decision for like the last week or 2 weeks straight. So I like him. You know, personally, I think this dude's got really solid stuff, but one thing that scares me is this dude does not shoot the ball. He is relying very, very heavily on getting to the free throw line, and his usage rating is pretty terrible. Now, granted, I think he's a solid role player for the team, but he is definitely taken a huge backseat to both OA and Jackson Robinson. It is like their team now.
Okay. So another pass? Feels like? For you, at least?
if he wasn't dealing with that injury, man, like that thing has obviously been hampering his play. He's going out and being able to do, what he can from the floor. But I agree. I think he's a very solid player. I've seen plenty of flashes of upside, but the nagging little injury there is just kind of annoying. Plus, for me, anybody who has really, really limited singular shot volume, unless we're chasing RA or something like that, for me, there's just no value here personally. And you can see the minutes are very volatile too.
Makes sense. Okay, I'll finally let you get back to your last play, sir. As we have got to the end of the comments. And where are we at? 11:30 West Coast time. That means it's 2:30 on the East Coast. Woo-wee. If anyone's up, they're super degens. I like it.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a little late here, but we're going to talk about some Nellyville. You said my play, but this is kind of your play, but one that I also liked and I think is pretty solid, man. Nelly's looked really good so far this season, and funny enough, we attacked him for the turnover prop the other day, which was a smash, and they also moved it to 2.5 the day after that, which was funny to see. But yeah, man, I mean, this dude's been a very solid player so far for New Mexico, and the total for this game, very solid, 148. We got a nice, was it a road game or their home? Yeah, it's a road game, but one very interesting matchup. So this particular opponent in UNLV, they have not been able to figure out their center position. They've been going back and forth between this last game. They just started a brand new guy off the bench. He had his first time in the starting role. Does not scare me whatsoever as far as being able to slow anybody down. And the other guy who was basically playing as a stand-in center, also same thing with even more of a foul, downside. They just can't keep him hands to himself. So this matchup, I think, is going to be phenomenal unless they decide to double team him or something down low, which honestly I don't think they can afford to do with how high-powered this offense is. He's going to get a lot of isolation and a lot of cuts. The only thing with him, again, foul trouble sometimes can kind of rear its ugly head, but he's been really consistent lately, and yeah, man, I like him. It's a low line for us to sweat.
It's super dope, man. Look at the I always like looking at the game log when you're on here, because you can look at that for him especially too. If you look at his game log, you can see that, like you were saying, all of his games where he hasn't got 11.5 points, which is fucking nothing, there's a reason. It's either a blowout, which is that last game where he had 25 minutes, or he got in foul trouble, which is that other game where he had 20 minutes. He still had 20 points. So, I mean, especially lately, these are the guys we like to attack. And these are the guys that have been working. The guys that have just been getting in their zone in the last week or two. This guy looks like 2 or 3 weeks. He's not going to not get 12 points for us unless he gets in foul trouble at this point, it looks like. Is this game on the slower side? Is that what it was? I know Fresno's the fastest team there is in the country, pretty much. They're up there.
No, it was a fairly quick pace on both sides. So while it is, yes, a small marginal pace down, so to speak, it's nothing that's like, a dramatic difference. They're also a fairly quick pace.
I mean, he's their number 2 option, I think, on the team. And they've been feeding him more and more. They want to get him more involved so Dent doesn't have to do everything. I think it's a great play at 11.5 points. That's not very many points, bro. 6 buckets for the whole game? Come on, bro. Just don't get in foul trouble. We're good.
No, I'm right there with you. So a couple of different things, too. Also, I think moving in a really, really great direction. One, we have him coming off of a blowout game. He only put up 10 points. Monster on the glass. Which also I got to shout out. It is obviously more of a line to sweat. The PR, I think, is something to consider because, I mean, this dude's just killing it on the glass. He's got many, many double-double potential games. So don't sleep on the rebounding. I think wasn't his PR 19.5?
This PR seemed like it was a little bit taxed for my liking when I looked at it. So I just thought that the points would probably be the easier thing to get to.
Yeah, 21 and a half. Okay, so if it was 20 and a half, I'd probably like it even better. But yeah, the 11 and a half points, I think, make a lot more sense. And also with him, too, I mentioned on the other side with their center situation, they haven't been able to figure that out. He's been really crushing just getting the free throw line at least twice a game. I think we could see him get potentially another game, you know, three different attempts, or four actual free throws and an and one somewhere in the mix. He's really good about getting and ones. That's one thing that I noticed, that the day that we took his turnover prop, that dude was getting to the free throw line like a madman on some and ones.
I'm with it.
And then, kind of lastly, too, it's also pretty discounted, almost 2 points from his season average. And if we look at his home road splits, he actually averages almost 14 points on the road. So we're getting that nice, discrepancy where he's, all these different things are kind of happening. He's still at a low line, and now we're setting up for a solid matchup. And I think, isn't this a fairly close spread, too? Yeah, 3.5. So projected to be a close game, which should mean, all the minutes in the world, barring any foul trouble. If we're getting him coming out playing another 30-minute game, I mean, that's looked pretty crisp for most of the season.
I like it, man. I like all these plays. I know we had to find them and get them together for the stream, and usually we have the whole night and the morning to get the stuff together for the stream in the daytime, but I do like these plays. I don't think I'd change tomorrow. I was looking at a few other ones here. Did we put Dawson on the list too? I think we did at the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dawson was going to be...
So here's the last play.
Yeah, well, one more, I think, official play, and then we'll talk about Lamont Butler. And I think on the radar play for the turnover, just feels like another one of those, they moved the line and weren't really looking at it.
Yeah. Well, also, Jalen Rose has a cool name and also says Cooper Flag under PRA, which is interesting because we talked about this a lot and it seems to hold true. And I don't even know where his props are yet, Cooper Flag. I didn't even see his props yet. But remember, in the blowout games, it looks like he doesn't shoot as much as he does in the games that are tough. He just kind of chills, passes, doesn't even play the whole game if it's a blowout. So, Wake Forest? That was the game where I was like, I don't know, man. Wake Forest is half decent. Conference game or whatever. In Wake Forest, good defense. I don't think that's going to be a blowout.
I would be very scared about it not being a blowout. I'm 1,000% with you right there. So Wake Forest, definitely a very dangerous team at home. Like you mentioned, they play oh my goodness, they play really good defense. And Cooper Flag's on-ball defender has been lights out, a block party this year. This dude's playing really good defense, and he only averages, I think, not even 2 fouls on the season. 1.7 fouls as a whole, and only 1.6 at the house. This dude's keeping his hands to himself. So I think there's a real chance that they actually keep this game close. Now, albeit maybe Duke pulls ahead and they win by 15 or something like that down the stretch. But I wouldn't be surprised if, and maybe this could even play more so into that. But I wouldn't think about this in terms of blowout necessarily. I would expect for this to be a really low scoring game. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the first half we saw 30-30, 25-30, something like that. The players around Cooper Flag are going to have to get hot because I think they're going to commit more to just shutting him down inside of the paint. So he's really going to have to rely on that mid-range matchup. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cooper also kind of have a reduction in some of his rebound and maybe a little bit more uptick in his playmaking. But, man, he's so hard to predict, honestly. If the game is anywhere close, that dude is a walking, 30, 40 PRA, no problem.
Yeah, I was looking at his lines right here. So they have him at 20.5, 25.5 PA, and 33.5 PRA. Yeah. I mean, if it was a blowout game, I see where you're going. I just would be worried that it's not a blowout. and he gets full minutes. And yeah. Hey.
Now, like I said, it's definitely a defensive matchup. Like, it's not going to be easy matchup for him. So, I mean, yes, in that regard, he could totally stay under from just struggling to score from the field. And, maybe he racks up the RA as opposed to shooting and ends with 15 points or 16 points or something like that. Not necessarily a bad game, but just down scoring and, nothing too crazy like him. But if he's going out and finding his shot, man, that dude is damn near unstoppable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know how I try to do unders every day, a couple unders at least, and so I've been trying to find different unders and see how players act. This is a dude you don't want his under, because only if it's gonna be a blowout and they're playing those teams they're playing at the beginning of the year when they're gonna win by 50. Then you want his under points. But when he's going in a game that's gonna be a close game, he's just gonna drive to the bucket and get fouled. And it's going to keep happening, and you're going to hope that he doesn't score, and you're going to sit there and watch his PRA go up slowly but surely. Another foul, to the line, and you're going to be pissed. Trust me. That's going to happen. I gave it a 60-70% chance that happens tomorrow.
Yeah, it's literally that, as you mentioned, if it's a blowout or if the game gets out of control where he plays a reduced minutes, I think that's going to be a steal. It's an absolute play. The points are a point higher than his season average as well. He only averages 19 on the season. So you're getting that in favor, tough matchup and all that. On-guard defender, solid. But if he plays more than 30 minutes, this dude has 2 games that he missed, and I mean everything else he's putting up like 22, 24 points plus. So you got a lot of unknown territory there with the minutes.
Alrighty. Yep, I feel you. You kind of gotta pass. I mean, unless you want to have a tough game, man. That's a tough one to cheer for. You said his PRA is too low. Very sus.
One thing you could do with this one, because I know they'll give up live or the second half props for this if the game is close. I mean, you could totally take his second half, or take the full game under and then hedge it with like a second half over. Because if the game's close, I mean, he's definitely been putting it down in the second half when they're playing from behind if they're trying to close it down. Yeah, you heard it. I said what I said.
Said what I said. I know what you said. You said one word.
Pass.
All right. Well, let's talk about these last 2 plays, because it is getting a little bit late over here, and I definitely want to dive into some more of the slate for tomorrow.
For sure.
But let's talk about Dawson, Big Dawson Creek, the Hare himself. He's been phenomenal for us, and I think another player whose lines just haven't really been adequately adjusted. The 2 props that we're really looking out for tomorrow, I think the 17.5 points has been a very solid play. His home road splits are pretty well the same. Nothing too crazy here as far as defensive matchup. Slight pace up for Minnesota here. We like this team plays fairly slow, but it is going to be a pace up matchup for them. And his on-court matchup is very solid. His defender is actually kind of a foul machine too, so we could see extra trips to the free throw line. And the other prop we're going to be looking out for is the fantasy. He's been doing, just everything for the team, playmaking, rebounding. The rebounds are a little bit more appropriate. We'll probably see this bump down to 6.5 potentially. I think that'll put him right over 50%. It's like 56, 57%. So this will come back down tomorrow, but the fantasy, I think a very solid option. The turnovers have come back down to earth lately, and we didn't see him get a single stock this last game. No blocks, no steal, and he still crushed his fantasy. So one line I think is just still going to be appropriate. He was 32.5 this last game. They might open him at the same thing if they do jump on that one. But if he's at 33.5, I would still consider that too.
Yes, sir. He if it's not broken, he can't fix it. What's the saying? How's it go?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's what this is, man. That's what he is. He just keeps on going, and they keep leaving his line the same. And the matchup isn't any more difficult than it was last game, really. So I'm in.
No. So you can see also here, I can just kind of show you through the PRA how high of a hit rating he has. 79%, so almost 80% on the season.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. And this one game that he missed here, which was just a really, really low scoring game in general, he missed the PRA, but he cleared the fantasy. He had 2 stocks in that game, so he was just over this. Oh no, he would have had 30, 31 or something, so he would have came just shy of the fantasy as well. But I mean, other than that, yeah, I mean, this dude's just, very consistent this season. The fouls really haven't been much of a problem for him, and anytime he's been playing at home, we've seen the increased usage. So I like him, man. He's been just a star for this team, absolute star.
Yep, I'm putting them all in. They're all good. They're all gonna hit.
Oh yeah, it's all gravy. It's all good. Okay, and then we got one last play tonight that we don't have it officially, down on the play sheet yet, but one that I think is just another line movement, an interesting line movement considering they're giving us basically plus money for taking the over. But we got Lamont Butler at 2.5 assists, and I can't figure out why.
All right, well, let me go put a unit on that too.
This one just feels like Eric Dixon from today. We have a player who is not hitting this line at all. They probably, at least I had a reason for Eric Dixon. I mean, he was having turnovers around this, but there's no personnel change. There's nothing crazy, nothing different. It is a very favorable matchup as far as turnovers not being forced in this opponent matchup. Yeah, normally you catch somebody moving after they've been performing well, but this guy has been not going over this line at all, except for this one game, which obviously was a spike game. But again, Texas A&M, no slouch. But yeah, I mean, this dude only averages 1.8 turnovers on the season, and most of them were coming earlier on in the season itself. But for him to be at 2.5 and plus money, like, this just doesn't make any sense. So we're definitely going to go under on this. PJ Haggerty does not scare me at all. That guy averages at best 1 steal a game. And we talked about earlier, this is Big Oweh and Jackson Robinson's team now. So it's not like, this guy is not being asked to do a lot. He's just playmaking. So yes, some turnovers can come from that, but his shooting and the risk of, him turning the ball over naturally from trying to, get to the basket or whatever, that's gone way down. This guy has taken a backseat in a lot of these games. So I like it, man. I think it's a solid play, and another one of those that the books are just looking at odds, and, I have no idea where the hell this line's coming from, though. So we're definitely going to go under this.
Are you putting that on the list too? Or are you just leaving that as a lean? Is that going to count on your turnover record is the question.
I mean, honestly, dude, I really like it. I'm just really bewildered to figure out why is he at 2.5. It just doesn't make any sense.
I like being bewildered. That's tight. I don't want to be bewildered. It sounds fun. I'm bewildered. Honestly, I've used that word a few times too. I'm not even gonna lie, but that just sounded funny. Jalen Rose says Jackson Robinson goes off tomorrow. He thinks that's cool. That's an interesting one. Coach was talking about Kentucky, and he was liking some of their players for tomorrow, and I'm not exactly sure why. Who's hurt? Is someone hurt on Kentucky? Is that what it is? That might be what it is. I don't know who though.
Let's see. I didn't think anybody was hurt. I thought they had recent personnel changes. For Kentucky, no. I mean, the only person was Andrew Carr, and I don't think Creasa. He's been out for a minute.
Right.
So
okay. Well, shit. I don't know what.
No, it was Jackson Robinson who just moved into more of a prominent role as far as like shooting and field goal volume. The one thing this team was really struggling was having a defined person to be that 3-point shooter. And now obviously Jackson Robinson, he's really dominated that role. Whereas Oweh, he's like their, small forward inside slasher who gets to the free throw line a ton. So with both of those guys filling those two different roles, which I like them both, respectively, it's just taking away that usage from Lamont. So, unless he's just having dumb plays, forcing turnovers, The dude averages, only the 1.8 on the season, and even better yet, his home road splits are massively favorites. He only averages 1.3 on the road. He has not gone over that in the 4 or 5 games so far this season on the road at all.
There you have it. There you have it, man. Ooh, Jalen Rose came with a good one for you. He said they just dropped Dawson Garcia fantasy. Remember I told you it might be lower than you might think. He said you saw it, didn't you? I could tell you saw it, and your face changed when you saw the 31.5, huh?
Hey, where's that at? I assume it's probably on PrizePicks. Gotta be on PrizePicks.
Yeah, probably.
Well, my PrizePicks is not working right now, but let's see if I got it updated here.
Oh, I can look over here too.
Not yet.
Let me see. Eric 2, while I'm looking this up, says Lamont Butler gets a shitload of assists.
Yeah, no, he definitely can, man. And that's really the only risk that we're going to have for that is, the obvious risk of him just having stupid plays or out of bound passes. But he's been really solid. I mean, this team's been playing very fundamental ball, and really the whole team in general just doesn't average that many turnovers at all.
I looked on my PrizePicks here, and I don't see it. And I just logged in, so it should be there if it's there. So it's not here, and it's not Underdog, right? Maybe if you refresh your, I'm going to refresh my Underdog and see. But I think that's about all the comments, and I believe you've got through all the plays we were looking at. Or is there another one?
Nah, that was going to be it, I think, for tonight. I know we kind of ran over a little bit, but we're keeping it chill here, and we're definitely going to dive into the rest of the slate. Like I said, I'm going to be up for probably another hour, maybe an hour and a half, and we'll get through at least all the afternoon, morning, afternoon, and then early kind of island games, and then we'll circle back for the evening and late night hammers, I think first thing in the morning.
And no UFC tomorrow, so I get to focus on college first time in a minute. That'll be fun.
Yep. And we got Unrivaled tomorrow night, so it's going to be a jam-packed day.
I've watched about 2 minutes of that. You liking it?
It's pretty fun. It's one thing I will say, lineups and daily or slately, however you want to look at it, injury news is very prominent.
Eric 2 says it was on PrizePicks, and it just got removed. It came up on 31.5 and got removed that quick? I wonder. That's funny. Well, we'll lock that in. We got to lock that in. I guess we can write it on the list for now to look for. So I'll just put points and fantasy at 31.5. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. That's kind of crazy if he was the only prop that was added on PrizePicks. They don't even have the fantasy category up right now.
Maybe E2 is just...
And then, is he still tripping in yesterday?
That's what I was about to
Are you
say.
a week behind now?
That's what I was about to say. It's like E2 must have been looking at something crazy. Oh, Jalen Rose says, no, they wiped the whole fantasy board. They screwed it up. All right.
Okay. Well, keep hitting refresh because a lot of the times they do that. There's probably other things that were overlooked. So that, it sucks they pulled it that fast. But if you guys got it in, hopefully you're able to.
I wonder what you can... Would you advise putting a play in your queue that you like already, and then when it pops up, you can just pop up, get it in?
Yeah, you got 5 of them right here.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Alrighty, well, it looks like that's about the time we have, eh?
Yeah, I need to go get some water. I got the old cotton mouth going, and man, I'm gonna have me old bong grip too. I'm feeling real crispy for this slate.
Crispy and clean.
All right, y'all.
All right, man.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. We're up late night finding these props, man. Never stops. It's the way to do it, though.
Yes, sir.
You want to make money, man, you got to put in the time. So.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, we will catch y'all back here on Monday as far as streaming. But make sure if you haven't already, check out the Discord. Links down below. Still running the 7-day free trial. we'll have all the slips, props, and the stream recap as well posted up in there. So check it out if you're not a member already, and good luck first thing in the morning, man. Hopefully we're waking up some green and we're gonna hit the grinds and the ground running. All right, y'all, have a good night. Catch y'all later. Peace.